Yeah, that's all right. When I leave here, my hope is that you look at open houses a little differently than you do now. It is not simply, let's go put some cookies out, put some drinks out, and open the door, and hopefully somebody will come to buy this house. All right. So I want to dispel those thoughts, and I want to plant new thoughts and new strategies so that you can actually use this to improve your business. All right. So the first thing we're going to start with is with the mindset. And this is a big one. And I hate to dispel that. Open houses don't sell houses. They don't sell houses. I've had one actual buyer enter an open house, and we actually sold that house to that buyer. And that person now is my assistant. So Lucy was the only person that walked into an open house that I hosted and bought that house. Across the nation, it's only 1 or 2% of the houses that actually are bought by the buyers that walk into that house. So here's why. In the seller's market, we don't have open houses. We just don't do it. Why? If I put the house on the market on Friday and I got 3 offers by Sunday, I'm not going to host the house. It's not going to be. We do it during a buyer's market to attract buyers to the house because the seller wants the house to be looked at above all other houses. So that's why we do it during the buyer's market, so we can attract buyers to it. But in doing that, the buyer also realizes that I got a lot of options out there now. I don't have to pick this one. Yeah, I like that one. That may be the perfect house for me. It hits every check mark on my list, but is there a better one? And the human instinct in us says, I can't go for the first house that I see, or I can't go for that open house. So I want to look at it. I'm gonna put a mark here, hold my space, and then I'm going to try to see if there's something better than the one I've seen that hits all the check marks. And so open houses don't actually sell homes. It is designed to give the sellers a warm fuzzy. All right. I'm in the military, and for those of us that serve, thank you for your service. But a warm fuzzy just simply means it gives you a good place that everything is working right. All right. It gets that warm, nice feeling that everything is right and in order. That's designed for the sellers. They want to see you dancing. All right. If you think about it, a $300,000 house, you are committing $18,000 from that seller. All right. It's not just a 3%, because if you look at the listing agreement, you are contracting with the seller for the entire 6%, and you are sharing that other 3%. So as far as that seller is concerned, they're paying you that 6%, $18,000. The seller want to see their work. Like a math teacher, and I used to get it all the time, the answer is correct. Got it, but I want you to show me the work. How did you get from where you are now to getting my house sold? I want to see that work. So it is worth it for you to go through the effort to tell your sellers, this is what I'm doing for you. I am hustling to get your house sold, when in fact they really don't sell houses. All right. So keep that in mind. The true outcome is to obtain buyers and sellers. That's what it is. We're doing this dance for the owners of the house so that they can see what's going on. But for you, you're strategizing so that you can bring in more business, so that you can do another open house to do more business to bring that in as well. So you're keeping that in mind as well. I'm not here to sell this house. I'm here to improve my business. All right. It's also a great place to set up shop. Crystal, this house is what, 380? 389. 389. Okay. This house is listed for 389. If I grab the table, set it up in here every day, set up my laptop, get connected to the internet, I can do all of the work that I would do inside of the office, inside of a $380,000 house. And how much would I have to pay for the use of this place, hosting an open house? Nothing. Now, what are the odds that somebody will come and engage with you here or knock on your front door to see if somebody's looking to buy a house?
I would just keep the open house sign in the front yard the whole time you're there.
That's my point. So during this season, that's exactly what I did. You know, that stake that you drive in the ground that you stick your flag into, all right? That stake stayed in the ground all week. I just simply pulled the flag out, threw it in the garage, and I left. The open house became my office for that entire time. What's the sense in going to that other office? We don't get walk-in traffic like we used to back in the day, but the chances of somebody walking in here are greater in this open house than either at your home, at the coffee shop, and even at the office. Buyers just don't do that anymore. The people that walks into our office are looking for rentals. They're not looking to buy a house. So strategizing yourself to set up an open house Monday through the week is a great strategy for nothing. This is a beautiful home. It's a great place. Now this is your office and you don't pay 1 penny for it. So keep that in mind moving forward as well. I don't worry about people not attending my open houses. We're in an electronic age right now. All right. I do invite them in by doing Facebook Lives every time I open up the open house. All right. I get a lot of views watching my videos going through the house. Got it. That view is equal to somebody looking through the house. That view is equal to that. So I don't need 20 or 30 people in here. Remember what I told you, we don't actually get them in here anyway, but they see somebody that's active and moving. And let me tell you, when somebody's driving up and down and that crazy agent is still sitting there doing the open houses all week, when it's time to sell my house, whose name am I seeing every day pop in as I'm coming in? All right. So you're ingraining that into their head as well, moving forward and doing it. Okay. Broker versus public open houses. This is a party. This is business.
So true.
All right. This is a party. This is a business. In fact, this is the best time to bring in your partners into this so that they can intermingle with other agents. So you're solidifying your relationship with your partner, your lender partner, your title company partner. This is the best time to do that is during these versus these. Public open houses, you're in for business. And please understand, when I sit at my open houses, I have a checklist of work to do, just like I would in my office. I got phone calls to make, I got follow-ups to make, I got contracts to do. And if I'm interrupted because somebody wants to come in and buy a house, that's an interruption I'll accept any day. All right, have a checklist, and I'll share the checklist that I have, that I use, that I give to my clients or give to the listing agent. So I don't have to have this listing in order for me to host this open house. There's plenty of them out there. Don't shortchange yourself in saying that. My first criteria, one, I wanted to be a vacant house. I don't want to host an open house for another agent for their clients. That one I don't want to do. All right. If it's vacant, I'll host your open house all day. But if the tenants or the clients are still in the house, and if it's a tenant one, avoid that at all costs. All right. Just avoid that at all costs. That one doesn't work out. But I share a checklist, and I'll share that checklist with you. I think it's in the packets already.
Yes.
Yeah. So that checklist, I simply give it to my sellers, and that helps them help you with the open house when you provide that checklist. And it keeps you on track as well.
Ron, it's
Yes.
titled the preparing for your open house.
Got it. And then I have one too with this big head on a piece of paper and it's self-branded that I give to the sellers. Yeah. All right. Yep. All right. So before the open house, these aren't accidental. There's some planning that goes on. I don't just stumble on it because I've seen it a lot where they schedule an open house. A lot of them don't even go to the open house until the day of the open house. You don't know what you're going to step into. You have no idea. Utilities on? I step into places where the utilities off. Remember, I do vacant open houses. In the summertime in Texas, has anyone witnessed? Yeah, not fun. Not fun trying to do that. So utilities on. I've even set up my own escrow account now so that I can turn them on if need be, especially if I'm staying there for the week. I'll turn them on in my own escrow account if it's a foreclosure or if it's an unreasonable seller that just don't want to do it. I'll turn it on for the week, host my open house for the week, get the business.
Bad for the house to not have that AC.
It is so bad at the house. Yeah, it puts a lot of stress on the house. The houses expand and contract all the time. And when you don't have anything to regulate any of that, it'll go through a lot. And an unlived house just doesn't sit well at all. Make sure you review the seller's disclosure. You look at it. You find out what's wrong with the house. And if you get someone coming in and they ask you about the roof, you are pulling out the seller's disclosure and you are reading from it. Don't commit that to memory. You are reading from the seller's disclosure. And if you don't see it in the seller's disclosure, I don't know. That's unknown to me right now. Your only source of information about the condition of that house is the seller's disclosure. Don't try to make up anything. Don't try to add anything, take anything away. Just read from that document and let them see you reading from that document so that that is now your source. Use the MLS as leverage. The MLS pushes out to about 200 websites. All right, about 200 websites. The MLS. A lot of websites aren't known to us. Of course, we stick to the bigger websites, but there are a lot of second, third-hand websites that are connected to primary websites where all of this information is blasted out to. You are doing yourself a disservice when you don't put this on, all right? Because you get the information out, the sellers will see it, you see it, and you get a chance to leverage your marketing for your open house through the MLS. So be sure you put the time, dates on that open house. Map out directional signs. I'm going to show you a page here next about the directional sign. No, I don't think it's up there, but the best directional signs are the little metal ones, two-sided, that you can just flip out. Very difficult to stick these signs in the ground in the summertime when that ground gets hard. Very difficult. So if you get the kickstand kind, they are expensive, but you don't have to eat this elephant in one bite. Buy 3 this month. Get another closing, buy 3 more, all right? The more the merrier. When I was doing my open house challenge, the most time that it took me to set up that open house was setting up my signs. But that was the most productive way for me to host this open house. So yes, it's a lot of time, effort that's given into laying these signs out, getting the directional. But with your picture on it and your contact information, you are having ads posted at every corner leading to that house. Especially if you do it during that week. Yes, it's a lot of work. Then you'll get to the point in your career where you can hire somebody to put these signs out for you. Because this is time consuming. This is a lot. And it can be a little dangerous too. I mean, some of these roads are not very friendly. And let me tell you, with the cell phones now, I started in 2008. So we still had the flip phones and, going with that. So smartphones wasn't used as much. When I started, it was okay. But now people are looking down in their phone and you're on the side of the road. It is very dangerous. So be very careful when doing that. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. The more signs you have out there, the merrier. Then in the front, I have an 11.5-foot flag so that flag can be seen 2 blocks away. All right. I also use pinwheels on my signs. So while they're stopped at the corner, you could buy $1 a piece or, $6. Now don't use it when the wind is blowing because it'll rip it to shreds if the wind is blowing too hard. But those little pinwheels is just enough to get the driver to look. Yeah, exactly that. It's just enough to catch the attention of the driver to see your sign. All right, so those pinwheels are very valuable, but again, be cautious on when you move that. Here's my favorite, door knock 5, 5, and 10. I am not a huge door knocker as a source of business, all right? So I heard a lot of new agents just hit a community and they go door knocking. And the best example that I heard is that that's equivalent to a mortician knocking on your door asking is somebody gonna die within the next 6 months. How are you gonna knock on a random door and ask, are you gonna sell your house? And who are you? This is my biggest asset and you're asking me to sell my house? No, that's not what we want to do with that. However, if I have something to offer them, I'm offering them an opportunity to come to my open house. So 5, 5, and 10. 5 houses on this side, 5 houses this side, 10 across the street. In this case, the corner lot, 10 and 10. All right. And what I do is I have door hangers. So if they're not home, I leave the door hanger. But it has my contact information and it has the date and time of the open house. I set up a special open house just for the neighbors an hour before I open. So if my open house is scheduled from 1 to 3, I set up 12 to 1, come take a peek. I got a special prize for you. If you swing by my open house before my open house starts, why don't you come by and check it out? Now, my open house is set up by 11 o'clock. But as far as they're concerned, I'm setting it up, and I want you to get a chance to see it before those other people get it, since you're the neighbor. And I offer a special prize just for them. All right? Hey, I got a $50 gift card to a local restaurant. If you come in, typically neighbors don't visit my open house, so if you swing by, the chances are very high that this card is yours. It cost me $50. $50 for that. And now I engage in a conversation with somebody. Gas card. Gas card is great. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. But yeah, offer them a $25 gift card. That'll fill a quarter of a tank now, right? If at least, maybe.
I did one time. I thought, this gentleman, I was hosting an open house in Harker Heights, and I loved his garage. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. He does ceramic coating, and then I said, "This is so awesome! Can I put it on TikTok? Because we love houses and everything." I just thought it was so neat how he made his garage his whole business. And out of that, he was so kind. He's like, "If I can earn your business, all you have to do is post a TikTok and a review." And he did ceramic coating for my car for free.
How cool is that?
That was amazing. And all I did was just myself.
How cool is that? I operate my business and I live my life by giving first, with no expectations of return. All right? It's not because I did something for you, I expect something back from you. That's not how this thing works. If you give, then God, all right, and for some of you that don't believe, the universe will pay you back tenfold.
Amen.
Tenfold. So that's how I conduct my business. That's how I live my life. And it's just things like this where we help each other up. I am not a broker that trying to keep everybody down by stepping on their neck to grow. No, I'm going to try to push you harder so that I can go harder. All right. So it's a friendly competition now, not me trying to hold you back. I want us to elevate each other in doing that. So that's where we're going. All right. So that door knock, invite special viewing. That's important. That special viewing is important. That they know it's a separate viewing from the actual showing, because you don't want to mix up with the crowd, and then kind of tell them, hey, listen, there may be some traffic in front of your house. I apologize now. All right. But start that conversation and engage with them for the open house. And by the way, those are your potential new clients that you're talking to. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward as well. Did I pass something for the house? Okay. Create a flyer. Are we good on Canva? If not, know somebody that is. All right. Create an open house flyer. They have plenty of templates out there now. I boost an ad on Facebook, and I'm an old cat, so Instagram and Twitter. Well, Twitter's up there too, but I'm just a Facebook guy. That's just me. That's where my strength lies, so that's where I host. So I boost an ad, a paid ad. I don't spend a lot of money, maybe $10, $15. You just want to boost it a little more to get some more eyes on it for yourself and for who? The seller. The seller needs to know that you're doing that as well. And then everything that you push out, ask your seller and or the listing agent, if you're doing this for somebody else, to share this also on their platform. That'll increase your reach. All right. So 4 days out. Now I've tested this one. A week out is too much. A day out is not enough time for the boosted ad. I shoot a promo video, if you have time, 2 days out. I stand in front. I don't bring them inside. I don't do the walking tour. I do the house, basic stats. This is who I am. Come see me on this day. I have prizes for you. I have a giveaway. I have something to offer you if you show up and spend your time with me. So that happens 2 days out. All right. Ask seller and listing agents to post. As I said before, you want to expand your reach. This one is key. Personally invite 10 people. Now, Marilyn Joyce is a very good friend of mine. She worked with it. She got her own brokerage right now. When she hosts an open house, she is smiling and dialing other agents to join our open house. And she's getting a commitment that they will come to the open house. Now, this is reciprocal. In order for you to really be productive at that, you also have to be a visitor of your friends' open houses. You have to be a regular, a fixture in their open houses if you expect them to come to yours.
What is the point to that specifically?
You're getting seats in a personal invite. I looked at you in the eye and I'm asking you, please come to my open house. And I'm getting an answer. If you do it this way, it's like, yeah, I may show up.
Well,
But now,
it's a personal relationship too, right? So when you have relationships in real estate, people are just driven to bring you business, right? So if you have two houses on the same street that are pretty identical and one agent's a douchebag who treats people terrible and you're sweet and you are inviting them and you're going and you're going to work with, who are they going to put, which house are they going to put? Human nature.
Right.
And
yeah,
also networking, while that home may not be for them, they get to know you and how hard you work to host that open house. And then you get to know one another. And the next time you'll be like, okay, Stephanie hosted this house. I really liked it. Let me see what she has coming up next. And I had people just from that one interaction say, hey, Stephanie, what do you have coming up?
Yeah.
And then
I
build
just
that.
have never, I love open houses. It's my first time in this, and I made it a point to be here because of the open house. I mean, but I had never thought of that.
yeah, no, it's more powerful and impactful.
It's just kind of
Because you promised me that you were going to show up to my open house, especially since I've been to all of yours in the past. Now, I asked you to join me. Not, I just posted and then shared it on your page and you hit the like button.
it's like an entourage.
Yeah. Now you get a true commitment.
That
Building
agent,
relationships.
right, well, and that agent also may either have a client now or a client coming in the next few days and they're like, oh, I just saw a house would be perfect for you.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's just a good way to do it, especially as a new agent. If you're not that busy, after you finish your admin work for the day, and I do have a class for daily disciplines, and I'll post that and invite you on what you should be doing every day as a real estate agent. But after you get through that and your day is empty, why aren't you visiting homes? Why aren't you becoming more familiar with the inventory, what's happening? All right. So I'm now to the point, if you mention a section of town to me, I know what price point it is. And I've been in that model home before. I know exactly how it looks. So now I'm able to advise my clients better. So it helps outfit you much better if you're aware of that. Okay. Be sure to bring printed materials. Now, these two here, I got check marks and we're going to go over it later. I have a tub that's just one of them plastic Rubbermaid tubs. So everything that I'm giving you on the next 2 pages sits inside of that tub. They're my open house tubs. So anytime I host an open house, I grab that entire thing and all of my inventory is sitting in the tub. I don't have to gather up stuff every time I want to host an open house. So this is the open house kit. This is recommended. Add, take away. This is your list. You make it personal to you. What's that? Yeah. And that list is not finite. Put in there whatever you want to put in there. I added wasp spray to it because I went to a house one summer and this thing was as big as my head. So guess what? When I left that open house, I bought 2 cans of wasp spray and now I added it to my inventory. So this is going to be a growing list. Light bulbs. I walked into a house, every light was out, burnt out, or missing. That was the strangest thing I ever seen before in my life. So now I keep 60-watt bulbs in my container just in case I get the 1 or 2 bulbs that I need. So that's why all of this is on there. This is not a finite list. This is what you need to have. And your kit will grow with you. All right? Your kit will grow with you. But having that kit is important if you're going to make this a regular part of your business.
I love that air freshener. I mean, how many times do you walk into a house and it smells like dog?
Oh my goodness.
Or smoke.
Yeah, it's nasty. I have that 02 or 03 machine to bump it out. So I don't visit my open houses the day of, like I told you. So if I'm going there and it smells nasty, I leave my machine in the house for 24 hours, let it run, and then get all of that stuff out there. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't visit it early.
What is the name of it?
It's an 03 machine. It's an oxygenation machine. It knocks out the smell molecules and pumps it full of 03 oxygen to get rid of that smell.
How much is that thing?
It's not less than $100. Yeah.
It is on Amazon.
Yeah. Less than $100. Yeah. Yeah. So I bought that machine just because of that. All right. And anything that eliminates it. All right. Signing sheet. All right. Documents on hands, flyers for it. Again, Canva is a great source to create flyers. However, at a pinch, like we did, because I didn't prepare, at a pinch, you go into the MLS, and when you produce a flyer in the MLS, your contact information falls at the bottom, even if you're hosting someone else's. So your contact information will be there. So, all right, but that's at a minimum. But make sure, get you some nice flyers, and Canva does a very good job of creating. Yeah, and it's free. All right. Also create a list of available properties in the area. Like I said, only 1 to 2% of the buyers nationwide actually buy that house. That's a very low percentage. So if you offer them this house or this list of houses and let them know, I can give you access to every house on this list, then now they know, oh, wait a minute, that's possibly my new source. All right, but keep that list of available homes in the area as well. You want to give them something else. If this house isn't for you, then we may have something else similar down the street that we can do it. IABS and seller's disclosure. We talked about seller's disclosure. IABS, just have it displayed. But please, if you find someone wants to be a client, they are not to sign the seller's disclosure. Now, it is not a requirement for them. It's a requirement for us to deliver the seller's disclosure, not for them to sign it. All right. It says usually in a written form. That doesn't mean it has to be in a written form. So initially, when I'm giving the seller's disclosure, it's verbal. I'm giving it to them verbally. I'm representing the seller of this house. My broker will assign another agent to you should you find this house. However, I can represent you with any other house in Texas. And make that clear. I can sell any house to you in Texas should you decide to do it. But this particular house I can because I am representing the seller for this house. All right. I got 4 duties I got to do. I got to treat all parties fairly. I got to disclose everything that's going on with the house. I got to present all offers. I just presented the IBS. All right. I told them about the representation, who I am, what's going on. I don't know you yet, and yet you're asking me to sign something or initial something. That's a huge barrier to overcome. And it is not required that they do it. Now, when we get to the documentation, our brokerage requires an initial copy on that. But by that point, we're well into our relationship. All right, it's not intimidating now. I'm throwing a piece of paper in front of your face. If you don't already, sign-in sheets are good. My preferred method is sign-in strips or half pieces of paper. When people sign in, they don't want to leave their name, what seems to be on a public sheet where everybody can get access to it. Yeah, you'll get access to it, but I've found and I've tested it, they are less likely to give me their information if they see that their information is going to be available for everyone else to see as they're writing it down. So I take half a sheet of paper, I get some information on a half a sheet of paper, and at minimum, all I need is your name, phone number, and email address. And then while they're filling that out because I got a prize to offer you. All right? I tell them the winner will be announced by text. Then I will send you the gift by email. What did I just do?
Contact.
I got the right phone number and I got the right email address. All right. I don't have Mickey Mouse email address. I don't have the phone number to that thing where you just got dumped number yeah. I don't have that. So as they're filling out this sheet for this prize, because I'm offering them something, I am telling them again, I will announce by text who wins this prize. And then I'll send it to you by email. So in their head, they're like, wait a minute, if I'm filling this thing out because I want that prize, I need to put the right information down, because if I give him the wrong information, I'll never get my prize. All right, so that kind of does it, and I do it on the sly. I don't make sure you put it, no, I just matter-of-factly mention that this is how you're going to receive the information if it wins. All right, and that way I've gotten more accurate information on that last line than anything else, especially if the prize is good enough for them to put that information down. All right, buyer and listing consultation packets. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't give them 20 sheets of information. Stop. My information packet is one infographic talking about the life cycle of a buyer. You're looking for a house, you get pre-approved for a loan, I send you to a lender, and then we go search for a house, then the lender goes through their process. It's a nice infographic, one sheet, to explain the whole process. I'm not inundating them with a lot of information and a lot of sheets that they won't read anyway. All right? So this is just one sheet, pretty colors, very nice for them to work with and manipulate. And it's very easy to work with. And then finally, in addition, there's a brochure, and this brochure is your resume. Spend time with that, who you are, your values, everything else. Nice picture. And it could be a 2 or 3-page brochure, but have these available. And inside of that packet, like you received a folder, all right, and by the way, you can get with your lender partners and create folders that have their contact information, your contact information already embedded into the folder. All right, already sitting in there. All right, so you don't have to add more paperwork to it, because the folder itself does a lot of talking for you. So this brochure talks about you, what you do for them, how you help them get what they want. All right, so this is how hard you work. So really, really, really get on your soapbox on this thing. Not, I'm the best realtor in it. No, what I'm telling them is, this is the work that I do on your behalf to get you what you need. Okay, so that's what we're talking about with this brochure. But that's a nice resume. It's not just a business card. You're really laying out your case on why you're the agent for them and what you need to work with them. Okay. All right, during the open house, that little welcome sign that I have out there that you're seeing there, either that or a piece of paper on the door that says, please come in. Even for me, a seasoned agent, when I know I have an agent that invited me to their open house when that door is closed, it's even intimidating for me to open that door to see whether or not the open house is open and ready. All right? Yeah, well, some of us will just do that. Some will just do that. But it's intimidating for me, a seasoned agent. Now, I know it's an open house, but I don't come blaring in because I don't, there a dog on the other side? Are they ready? What's happening? I don't know. So I don't do that unless I see a sign that says, please come in. Besides the open house sign, just a little sign out front, and take a look at that red and white one that I got out there, just inviting you in, or a sign on the door. Door's unlocked, come in, make us an offer. That type of thing. Very nice. Where your table is positioned. Just like where this table is now, of course, we have this brushed up against the wall, but it's normally pushed out enough so you can sit behind it. But you want to be able to see the front door without sitting at the front door. You want them to come in so that you can receive them inside of the open house. So if I'm here and they're coming in, I want them to come into me. I want them to see this fantastic kitchen. Now I have my little brochure and flyer ready to receive them. Again, I'm not sitting there like I'm thirsty. Come on in. I'll receive them. Hey, come on in. Have a look. As they approach me, I'm handing them the brochure, giving them something. Again, it's all about that giving. I'm giving them something, and I'm giving them the stats of the house. This is a 4-bed, 3-bath house, so many square feet. This is the cost of the house. Take a look around, enjoy yourself. If you have any questions, I'll be right here. I let them go. I am not a shopper stalker. I am not pacing them throughout every room, because there's a lot of conversation that happens, especially if it's a couple, that you're not privy to, and you shouldn't be. Let them go look at the house. And my whole attitude is very laissez-faire about them coming in the house, because got it, they may turn right around and not give me anything. I'm okay with that. That's fine. You've seen the house, you've seen what's going on, and you met me initially. All right, and I'm gonna go over some questions you could be asking them. All right, hand out the flyer, welcome them in. At a minimum, cookies and water, especially if you're doing this all the time, cookies is the best deal going. $25, Sam's. There's a nice cookie sheet, and guess what? Cookies keep very well. So I can run that whole cookie tray for the entire week. If a couple are taken, I just rearrange them like they're full again and put them back out. That's right. I leave the water inside of the sink like that, and I buy a new bag of ice. When I come in, I just lay the new ice on top of the old bag, but that stays there. All right. Again, I'm mostly doing vacant open houses. That's at a minimum because I also want to invite them to, here, take this. This is what I have for you. I am always in a position where I'm trying to give them something without expectation of return. All right. I don't care how small it is. It triggers something in their head about the law of reciprocity. All right. And if you haven't studied that law, it's a beautiful thing. All right. So those little things work. Don't be a shopper stalker. We talked about that. Encourage them to sign up for a drawing. I have a drawing for them. I have something for them. Gas cards are huge. I'm going to change that. Yeah. Gas cards are huge. But hey, listen, I got a $50 gas card here that I'm offering to anybody in this open house. We can do it. Now, if you're going to be in that open house all week, you don't have to buy 5 gas cards for each day. No, you're hosting it for the week. And then you announce the winner at the end of the week. And please announce the winner and post that on Facebook as well. Let people see that you're actually doing what you said you're going to do. All right, don't get caught out there, because I knew of an agent that announced these big prizes and never turned any over to anybody. Oh yeah, just announce. I don't even think they made the purchase of the prize. All right, so no.
That's a good one, so just let people know.
Yeah, all right. Encourage them to sign up for drawing. And of course, you want to ask for feedback, because you want to share that feedback with the seller. All right. You just spent your time in my open house and you ain't got nothing? Nobody did anything? Nothing? Really? So you want to make sure that you ask for, what did you think of the house? What's going on? You see yourself in this house? But here are the questions that I truly ask. How long have you been searching? All right. It's a general, open-ended questions. I want them to do most of the talking. All right. If you are talking more, you lost. They are to speak 80% of the time. Keep that in mind. What sites do you use? And that's a big one. Invite them to yours. So the platform in the MLS, your portal, is linked to the MLS, and let them know that thing updates every 10 minutes. I think it's 7 minutes now, but it updates every 7 minutes. The information that you may receive, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, may be outdated. And in this market, a couple of days can mean a lot, because you may be interested in the house that is probably under the contract. But if you use my portal, looking for houses in this area, we are linked directly to the MLS. So it will get this information updated every 7 minutes. So it's best to use that. Share your email with me and I'll send you your own personal portal to use however you want to search. All right. Have you found the perfect house yet? 80% of the conversations coming from them. Tell me about it. Again, another open-ended question. I'm not, this one is yes, it's a yes and no, but then it's that lead in right there after that. So have you found it? But then I go right into that open-ended question there. Well, tell me about it. How soon are you looking to buy? That checks the urgency. I see a lot of homes before they hit the market. Would you be interested? And we're talking conversation now. I know a lot of you talking about, wait a minute, what if they're represented? I'm gonna get to that in a second. Right now, we're just having a conversation. I didn't ask to represent them. I didn't ask to go show them my house. I didn't ask to write an offer. We're just having a conversation about where you are in your home search process. All right. Do you need to sell your current home before buying another one? And if this isn't part of your questions anyway to any buyer, you need to make it so. All right. I've lost a lot of business in the past because I didn't ask the buyers that I have now, hey, do you need to sell that house? Do you need to sell a house before you buy this one? I didn't ask that. They used another agent to sell their house and use me. Whose fault is that?
Yours.
Mine, because I didn't educate them. Asking them lets me know what position they're in, whether or not they have a house to sell. and then whether or not they need to. Now, we'll have a conversation with the lender, because the lender will say, no, they can't hold two. They got to get rid of this one. So we'll have that conversation, but you want to know before you go see the lender, because they may engage another agent to sell the house while you're trying to find another one. So have that conversation early. How did you find out about this open house? This just helps me for future open houses. Was it my signs in the street? Was it the Facebook ads that I posted? So whatever answer that I start getting the most, that's where I start putting my energy and attention into. So this feedback question is more for you, not for the house itself. All right, so we get to the point and we're feeling. Now, you don't have to ask all of those questions, because at any point, they may give you some indication that they need help. Then you ask this, are you working with an agent? Before you really engage in them, all right? If the answer is no, do the verbal IABS like I talked about. Offer them your resume, as I mentioned before, if you had not already done it before. The consultation packet is that infographic sheet that I told you, not 20 pages. Please don't do that, all right? Make sure you get their contact information for the database. And always, and make this a habit as well, anytime you're in your database, anytime you're dealing with the client, it is always a what's next. So before I get off the phone with my clients, they need to know what to expect next from me. The lender will call you. The inspector will reach out to you. We'll visit at the house. They need to know what's next. Don't leave them hanging with nothing. This is just a good habit to get into as a good practice as a realtor. Never leave your clients without knowing the what's next. They need to know what's happening next in this transaction. We do a lot of work behind the scenes for them, a lot. And some of them, you can put them under contract, especially if it's a to-be built. We may not have to talk to them for months, but make it a habit to talk to them on a regular basis. And when you talk to them, you let them know what's next. When they expect, if not anything else, when they expect to hear from you again.
You go check on their new house and send them pictures.
Oh, please do.
So they know that you're working.
Yeah.
Please do. So what I do is I find a spot, the manhole cover portion of, and I stand there and I take a picture every week, every time I go to the house, and I give them one of those progression videos from the time it went from cement until it was complete. Those are beautiful slide sets, and there's nothing for you to just stand out there, take a quick one and throw it in your pocket. You'll assemble that stuff later, but let me tell you, the impact is huge on the back end of that, okay? All right, and then finally, if they tell you that they're being represented, congratulations, hand them your business card and ask them to have their agent contact you. You don't want to muddy the waters or cross the line or hit a gray area with that. For me, this is cut and dry. Whether they're lying or not, the moment they say yes, we break contact. Here's my business card. Please hand this to your agent. Make that clear and tell them to get in contact with me if you have any questions about this house. I'll let them know what needs to be done. So I make that clear that there's a dividing line. I'm not here to poach you. No. All right. There's too much business out there for me to take somebody else's from. All right, after the open house, give the seller and listing agent feedback. Important. And you see, I got / listing agent. They were nice enough to allow you to do an open house for them. All right, give them feedback so I can share with the seller. And what I typically do is I type up the feedback, I send it to the listing agent, and I tell the listing agent, hey, I sent you feedback. Listen, all you got to do is cut and paste the feedback I just sent you and send that to your seller so you can get some brownie points with your seller. So I format it so that they can simply cut and paste and send that to them. But I want this person here to know that I'm your ally. I'm working with you. I'm not trying to work against you, but please cut and paste that and send that to your seller for yourself so that you can do well with that. Of course, update your database. And if you are not a huge advocate of your database, I have a class for that too. And I'll get that out. You need to. You need to be a database junkie. It's impossible to stay in contact with the hundreds of people that are in my database. Thousands. It's impossible. Don't try it. It's too much. Thank you notes to the visitors. If you got contact information, and if you have addresses, great. If not, nothing more than the email address or a text. Thank you for visiting my open house. I appreciate it. Whether they win the prize or not, to do it. letters to the 5, 5, and 10. Okay? So I simply write them a note. Hey, listen, I'm giving them an update. We just conducted an open house and went very successfully. I appreciate you allowing us to use the space in front of your house as cars parked in front of it. That's all I'm doing. If they visited the open house, they get a handwritten note from me that says, hey, thank you for visiting open house. And if 2 of them come, I give both of them a prize as though they both won. They both win the prize. They think they're the only ones, but no, I give them both the prize. All right. I used to spend, as a solo agent, $5,000 a month on buying leads. $5,000 a month buying leads. Those leads are soulless. There is nothing. And
they're sold to multiple, yes.
right. So there is, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a bad lead. So if that's part of your vocabulary, lose it. It's not a bad lead. It is just a person that's not ready to buy when you are ready for them to buy. It's not a bad lead. You're being selfish. They're just not ready to buy. That's like you getting on the bus, riding 2 stops, and the bus driver saying, okay, it's time for you to get off. Wait a minute. This isn't my stop. Well, I'm ready for you to get off. If not, you're a bad. Well, that's how agents treat these folks that have raised their hand and shown some interest in real estate, but because they're not ready to buy. My longest client, and I got to send her a note today, 6.5 years in my database. No work for me, really. My database did most of the communicating. No work for me. Occasional call once, twice a year to check in on them. Send them my drip emails every year. And then once in a while, she'll send me a question. 6.5 years, she moved from Louisiana to here. Oh, and I got the referral in Louisiana because I had that, do you need to sell a house conversation, and she bought a house with me here. Yes, ma'am.
Which database do you use?
So right now I'm using RealVolve, but since my position has changed, I am out of production, thankfully. I'm out of production, and I use a system called Monday.com, and really wouldn't work well for you. The best ones to use, I think KV Core is a very good one. KV Core or Top Producer X. All right. This one is quite powerful and impactful. Quite powerful. Don't let that one slip. This is part of the whole open house thing. Don't just fold your table up, stick it in the car, and be done with it. No, you still got work to do. You still got work to do. And guess what? If you're in there the whole week, you can start preparing these letters while you're visiting, you're sitting down in the open house. So when the open house is done, as you're leaving, you drop all of these notes in the mailbox on your way out. So there's work to be done when you sitting in the open house. I don't just sit here and do it. I make sure I have an internet connection because I want to stay connected. This is my office. If I'm doing this inside my office, this is it. So I can write these letters here. I can knock out all of my admin stuff here. All right. Ask if you can send them a free evaluation. This is for the 5, 5, and 10. Hey, by the way, I have all of the data for the neighborhood. I'm going to send. You can ask to send, but I'm going to send if you have it. Make it a presumptive close. Assume that they want it and send them, hey, I'm going to send you some updates on it. No obligation, no cost to you. I just want you to know the value of your home today. So I'll send that to you. Thank you very much. I already have your address. I already know who you are. All right. Of everything that I said before, this one is the most impactful. I had an agent who, she simply had a showing. It wasn't an open house. And the buyer walked into the primary bathroom and called her in to ask her a question. When she came in, he positioned himself in the doorway and he invaded her personal space. He didn't accost her, thank God, but it wasn't a brush or a brush by you, no. He invaded her space like he was really trying to make a move on her, all right? Shook her up so much that she resigned the next day. Think about it. That's very traumatic for anybody. Whole career now is gone. Use the buddy system. One, it's just more fun having a partner to do these things with you. Whether it's a lender partner or another agent that can sit in here with you every day of the week and both of you now have an office to work out of, please do that. Don't host these things by yourself. I got it. Yeah, I did it, and I'm not being a chauvinist when I say.
You're also a larger man that can.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
A little bit different.
Yeah. So my threat level, the threat level to me is much different
Just
than
like this
Lisa.
guy over here. Ain't nobody gonna come.
Yeah. No. All right. Know your egress points. This is stationed right by the back door. Never put yourself in position where you can't get away. When going into, now this goes to just showing a home, never lead the client into a home. Open the door, allow them to go into the home. All right? And keep some distance between them. This one is huge at the very bottom. Now, for those of you that carry and have your thoughts about carrying, that's one thing. Non-lethal, but still something to give you some standoff room so that you can get away. All you need is a couple of seconds. And you need something in your hand, whether or not it's those claws that they have for key rings that you can carry on you, just to get away for a couple of seconds. But consider either pepper spray or a stun gun or something to allow some room for you. If you're gonna do these things by yourself, and I strongly recommend you don't. And if you do it with a partner, don't worry about the money that you're losing. It's not worth it. If you're custom one time, your whole career could be finished. It's not worth it. So, all right. So what I do, if there is two people hosting an open house, I have a primary rule. Who's the primary? Hour one. That means the first person that walks in the door, if you got the first hour, anybody that walks in first is yours. Subsequent people that walk in, then the partner can take that person. And then hour two, now it is my turn to become the primary and announce it. Okay, you got a minute left. Good. If they walk in now, it's my client. So announce that time so that now you are the primary person that takes that first person that comes in the door, and then the other agent take the second person.
Split it too. Like you could.
Oh, you can split it. If it's a partnership already, which is the best thing, let me see. This could be, it's a lucrative business, but it could be very lonely. And it just ain't fun doing it by yourself.
Where our partners in real estate, it's very, they are a very important part of an open house, because not only can they be your buddy system and your safety, they can also bring other benefits to the open house.
Oh, absolutely. And invite your partners to make their own signs to stick it out on the lawn too. Never take the agent's sign out of the yard, okay? Because we need a listing agreement to post that property for the market. That agent that listed the property or has a listing agreement, they have the authority to put their information out there. So don't take it. So now if you do customized open house signs with your face on it, that's fine. You could do that and put that near the door. That's okay. And it's an open house sign. It's not a for sale sign. That agent has the right to leave that sign out there. Because there was a time I was taking, when I was ignorant, I took their sign out, I threw my sign in the yard. You know, it's my house now. No, it is not. It belongs to the brokerage.
On this, and I meant to go back and put it.
What's that?
How to park where you can't.
Yeah. So one, don't park in the driveway. All right. And two, park where you can get away, but also park where you're not consuming the primary space of the house. So across the street is better. You want your guests to have easy access to it, but you don't want to position yourself where you can be boxed in either. All right. All right. Well, I think this is
Code word, create a word or phrase.
Oh, yeah. So especially if you're working with a partner, they may get a sense of working with a primary person. There's something ain't quite right with this. So the two of you decide, hey, if I mention foreclosures in this house, something ain't right. All right, stay on alert. But again, just like you know who the primary person is, also know what that code word is too. All right, so there's going to be a lot of discussion. I'm talking about your partner. So if I'm walking around the house with this guy and this guy is a little loopy and my partner didn't catch it, if I'm walking in this room with her and say, hey, check on that list of foreclosures for me. Now my partner knows that this guy ain't right. Now we're both on alert. And my partner isn't caught off guard and now standing by to assist me if needed. All right. So that was that. All right. I think that's it for me. All right. Questions? Comments? Yeah. This is quite productive. So typically, if I have a listing, I yield one buyer. That's the way it has panned out in my entire career. I yield one buyer every listing that I have because I employ a strategy where I try to get a buyer because of my listing. All right?
She asked when's your next class.
Oh, I'm sorry. You me.
I wanted to hear it.
There's some sample sheets in the folder.
I have a team. You're welcome to join. I'm doing a daily disciplines class next Thursday for a team in the office. You're welcome to join me there. For those of you not with All City, anybody not with All City here? Anybody? Well, yeah, but I open my classes open to up to anybody. So if I post a class and you got a friend with another brokerage that's struggling, invite them to the training. I don't care what name tag they're wearing.
So where can we get that information? Because I've been like just so disconnected because I'm in Georgetown and Austin. All the agents are so far away from like Austin. I think I'm looking for a place to fit in.
Well, you got a home now. You got a home now. Yeah.
I mean, like I could.
Share Diana's contact information and she'll give you mine.
I have your contact information.
Okay.
Because I spoke with you once or twice. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Did I give you good advice?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We can talk.
She's here.
We can talk then.
You gave me the phone number to a manager. I had my rental house at
The one yes.
Called me on that, didn't you?
Yeah. That's right. Crystal was my thing, so I asked for some advice from her.
He never called me back.
Yeah, I know. That was an emotional time for you.
So
Yeah.
I just
Emotional for me
figured
too.
out, finally, 2 Tuesdays ago.
Got it. I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad I get a chance to meet you.
The way you responded, the way you were just like, I was like, this is where I belong.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
seriously.
Okay.
I'm not even, like, I'll cry.
Don't cry.
But the lady was, I don't know if the lady was like sick, the one that you gave me her contact information because I called her a couple of times and she didn't answer.
She was going some family problems. I found out after. Yeah.
But you know what? It was a blessing because I had to, even though it was very, very, very emotional, I was like close to